Hey, it's Aaron from GameEnthus.com, and this time I'm looking at Floriferous. Floriferous is a fun word to say. Floriferous. Floriferous is being published by Pencilverse Games. It is from 1 to 4 players. Plays in about 20 to 30 minutes. Intended for ages 8 and up. And in Floriferous, you will be doing set collection and enjoying the flowers. It's a game where you look at the nice, pretty art and you collect different flowers and different sculptures and things, sometimes insects, gotta have insects, and you are trying to earn more points than your opponent. Floriferous was designed by Eduardo Baraf, Finn and Keith Matejka, with art from Clémentine, Campardou, and Kim Robinson. Now, I could spend the rest of this video just saying Floriferous over and over again, as much as people would enjoy that, and they wouldn't. Let me just show you how it works. Okay, so these are the major components for Floriferous. Still very fun to set. So you have the cup of tea card. Whoever has the most stones in the game gets 2 points. Cup of tea card. You have a stack of 50 flower cards. I'll get into those in just a second. 21 desire cards. These cards sort of trigger on other things you're doing. This one, for example, for every different insect you have, you will get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 points for every card. And this one is sort of the exact opposite. For every one of the same insect cards you have, you would earn a number of points. A lot of them are based on color. So this one is 2 points for every yellow flower. This one, for example, is 2 points for every lily. So these are desire cards. They're going to allow you to earn more points. They're going to allow you to take the cards you're collecting and earn points for them. Choose carefully. And then here you have 10 bounty cards. The bounty cards are interesting. There's going to be 3 laid out. They all have day 1, 2, and 3 on them. This one means is if the bouquet that you build, the cards that you build in front of you after day 1 has a lily, has a daisy, and has a moth, if all those elements are within the cards you have, not one card, because that would be impossible in this game, but if all those elements, if you fulfill this requirement day 1, you get 5 points. You fill it day 2, you get 3 points. You fill it day 3, you get 2 points. So you're not necessarily competing because unless I read the rules wrong, hope I didn't. You're not really competing to get here. It's more personal. It's if everybody got it on day 1, everybody would put their token on it and earn 5 points, but you earn it when you can get it. And the game does take place over 3 days. Within the deck, you have plenty of flower cards, poppies, mums, more poppies, more sculpture cards. I'm trying to show more. Okay, you got daisies, more daisies, so on and so forth. And the cards also often have insects on them. So this daisy has a moth on it, and this mum has a bee on it. This poppy has a beetle on it. And those are going to be important to the desire cards, where you're trying to have cards that have those attributes. So if you get 2 points for every moth, you're going to want to get cards that have moths on them. Also, if you have a card that maybe gives points, gives you more points if you have daisies, maybe you want to get that. Maybe you want to get cards that have purple. So you can really rack up points by getting cards that sort of combine all the aspects. They don't have to. So you also have arrangement cards and sculpture cards. So sculpture cards are pure set collection. I believe there's 5 total in the entire deck. And if you get one of them, you get a point. If you get 2, you get 3 points. And if you get not all 3, but if you get 3, you get 5 points. So the sculpture cards are just pure set collection amongst themselves. Whereas the arrangement cards are elements that you want within your whole arrangement. So your arrangement will have to have a daisy, orange, and a moth. That could be all contained on one card to give you 5 points. It could be spread across several cards. But those are the types of cards that are in the game. And although I do have 2 sets of gardener pawns and the flower tokens, keep in mind this is a prototype. I believe the finished product will probably have 3 of these style, but it's a prototype, so some of the components are placeholders. while the rules and the structure of the game are pretty much finished. And then there's also reference cards, which help people like myself who often forget. Like the insects, I got it, the color's fine, but you know, sometimes I need to remember, oh, that's the daisy, or that's the lily, and all that good stuff. Let me show you a quick 2-player setup and how the game might go. This is a 2-player setup. We have the bounty cards here, you have desire cards on the bottom, and then you have a mixture of flower and then arrangement or sculpture cards in the center here. And then the rules go over how the setups change for different player levels. There's also an extended setup for 2 players, but I only have the base one just because it shows up much better on camera. But turn order is from top to bottom. So I guess if you placed your gardener pawn first, you would go first. So, because it goes top to bottom. And what you're doing is you're picking cards from columns. And we're going to go all the way through to the right. Then repopulate, go back to the left, and then back to the right. So this all happens over 3 days, which are indicated on the bottom of the bounty cards as well. So for day 1, if I wanted to earn any one of these, I'm going to want to have a tulip, a beetle, and a butterfly. Wow, this is very insect based. A beetle, a ladybug, and a bee. And for this one, I'm going to want to have a poppy, daisy, beetle.
Biz, fab, all, gain, whisk.
And then I put 3 stones out according to what the rules specify. 2 of the cards are going to be face down. Looking over here, I don't think all the insects are represented. So this middle card is going to be hard to go for. I see ladybug and a moth. You can't get 2 cards in the same row, in the same column. So that's not going to happen. Here's a moth. But a tulip and a beetle could be satisfied with this single card right here. I'm sorry, a tulip and a ladybug. So it's a tulip and there's a ladybug on it, which satisfy 2/3 of that bounty card. And all I would need is a butterfly, which if there is no other butterfly out here. So essentially this card, you cannot get 5 points for this one based on what's here, at least not in day 1. Well, maybe you don't know what's here. I don't know. I don't see a beetle, so this one's going to be impossible to do day 1. Beetle, daisy. There's a daisy. There's a poppy, but we don't know what's on these, so I guess tricky. And then for the desire cards down here, this is 2 points for every daisy, for every matching color. You can see how the points go up from 0 to 7. 2 points for every purple flower, 3 points for every ladybug, and 2 points for every white colored flower. Enough talk, let's go. The orange players is going to go first, and they kind of have their eye on this 3 per beetle, but also that too, because this, there's some purple in there as well. All right, they're going to take this one because at least this card gets them 2/3 of the way to completing this. I'm sorry, my setup is so tight, it's kind of hard to really see where the cards are going to go, but I'll make it make sense later. And so once you take a card, you go into that space. It also means that you'd be going first again. Now, being first does not mean you take the card that you're next to. It simply means you just pick first from that column in the next turn. Player 2 is going to take this card, which is 2 points per poppy. Normally, obviously these cards would be placed down in front of you, not really kind of cramped over here, but mistakes were made. So then this would just go away. So this lily and this stone just get discarded, and we continue. There's really nothing. I could go for any of these. So this one is any matching color. So if I were to try to get maybe these 2 to score off the purples, and if I get multiple purples, this is purple, I could get 2 for the purples and then use that as well. But I'm very curious what this is. But I'll do something a little different. So I'll go down here and I'm gonna take this one and put that there. And now let's say the blue player, and then you're supposed to put the actual gardener pawn in the space where you took the card from. Okay, so they're going to get a poppy, which is very advantageous for them because the desired card I picked up was 2 points per poppy. Oops.
Well, Poppy's a little sloppy.
So that's going to go there. This daisy is going to get discarded, and the game continues. Now the blue player sees sees the purple. Doesn't have any purple yet, but it's only day one, and there's no insects on it. So you know what? But the blue player really wants to get a stone because whoever has the most stones in the game gets. Oops, wrong card. Gets the cup of tea card, which is worth an additional 2 points. Not a ton, but it's something. Now, the orange player has to pick either between getting the purple or getting the purple multiplier. What to do? Now, because they already have the like color multiplier desire card, it will probably make sense. I don't know. It can go either way, really. Because desire cards are worth nothing. Just because, and what I mean is, yes, there's a beetle on this card, but that doesn't count for, I'm sorry, there's a ladybug on this card. That doesn't do anything for you here. You need them on the flower cards. These are just ways to score points. You don't get to count the insect or color on this card. It's just for scoring. So I got to pick between, do I want to, well, if I do the light color thing, I know I'm going to get at least a point. But if I do this, I can get 2 points for the one I already have. I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go there. This mom goes away. Game continues. Player one can see that, well, I have a tulip with a ladybug on it. They can see that. They're probably not going to want me to get the points for that. So let's say they just do a little hate drafting and they take it. So they take that one, which leaves me here. And orange is feeling adventurous. And they're going to get this one, which has another ladybug on it. This mom goes away. Now we're here. If only there was a butterfly. All right, they're going to take this poppy with the moth on it because why not? And player two is going to take this tulip with the stone. So now they have 2 stones. And this is going to just get discarded. Okay, so then you would normally do a check to see if any of the bounty cards were met. I'm pretty confident that none of them were, just because the lack of, nobody got a bee, nobody got a butterfly. I'm pretty sure there are no beetles in any of these cards. So nobody gets the day one bonuses, which are worth 5 points. It happens. Let's repopulate. How the game works is we would do the same thing for day 2. We would go this way and then go back this way, and then we would score at the end, and people might talk trash. I don't know. It just sort of depends on what happens. If you meet the requirements for one of the days, like day 1 is out of the question at this point, and this one is not even, can't happen. Well, it could, but I don't know if there's butterflies in either of these cards, but this one is going to be tough. That is sort of the base game for Floriferous for a 2-player game. There is also a solo mode that uses very specific cards and sort of directs an AI player to remove things from the setup here. So you don't have a choice of everything. You would follow the set of directions and remove certain cards, place stones, places, remove stones in order to randomize things, so you can't just take whatever you want. And obviously you have to make choices per column. You can't get David the gnome and this white tulip. You have to choose. You can't have it all. You have to make choices. And then this is the early spring mini expansion. So in case you were wondering, what happens? What if I really want something and I just can't get it? How could I ever move things around so I can get what I want? Well, that's where this expansion comes into play. This expansion has 3 cards in it called April. Well, 3 cards per player. they're all the same. There's slightly different colors, but you have April Showers, which, as you see the picture, allows you to have a card within a column, which also means if you play this at the right time, this will let you switch spots for a column. You could take the Desire card, and it says includes the Desire card, and move it up here, which means if you get it up there, then maybe you're first, then you be first for the subsequent turn. You have You Are My Sunshine, which allows you to do a similar thing, but now you're doing it for a row, which is really clutch. So even if you're last and you really want this purple daisy, you really want this pink daisy, you could use this card one-time use, and you can only use one per day. So you can't use more than one on a day. So basically you figure out when you want to use it. If it's applicable to you, you go ahead and do that. So April, in similar fashion, April Showers, except it's working for a row instead of a column. And the Gentle Breeze allows you to look at the next face down card going into the next round. So you would be very informed as to what it is, whether or not and it would dictate what choice you make for that next turn. So very interesting. So it's nice that these are here. You don't have to play with them. I did play with them, and I found them to really be clutch. They came in handy in order for me to manipulate things to win. I don't know if my opponent was quite as pleased as I was, but I wasn't there to please my opponent. I was there to win. So that is the early spring mini expansion. That is Floriferous. Pencil First, Steve Finn, Eduardo Baraf, Clémentine, Campardou. Link is in the description. Thank you for watching. Take care. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Be blessed.